we got Jayson Cash here representing. I'm gonna let you do the honors. In crowd, you know.
The in crowd, man. You know, Jayson Cash, Trey, Drew, John, the Eastie Boys, C Styles, and JFK. You know what I'm saying? Like my team. You know, they're very, very, very much instrumental in this process. We all been talking about this shit for years. You know what I'm saying? So like, just the small shit. Like I don't even want to say small shit, but like the little things. Like I remember like. After meeting Justin for the first time, and he used to just randomly like shit on my page, and I screenshot that shit and be in the group chat like, bro, that Justin looking, dog.
He's paying attention.
Yeah, like, crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's tight. It's because at the same time, it was like I have just met Fuzzy too, and he was doing the same shit. So now I'm in here with y'all, and Fuzzy's managing me. So it's like a full circle type situation.
And as far back as we go with Fuzz, just like you were saying a little bit off the air that you've been about this freestyle. But what was it? Before
I ever even met y'all physically.
That's
you know
crazy.
What I'm saying? Because I met y'all like a couple years ago. I met y'all in 2018
right.
at AD Studio. But we was plotting on that shit.
Way before that.
Trey, well, we was like 20.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Like that shit's been a thing. Like, bro, I remember when Schoolboy Q did the brainstorm freestyle.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Hills. We was in the Woodland Hills
that was like before we even had the series numbered.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like we been plotting on this shit before it was a series. Like I remember seeing, you know what I mean, like Q do that shit, and we was like, damn.
That's hard.
Like we've been talking about that since then. Like I always say, like, man, like every time Justin come around, be like, bro, like this shit really a status symbol, man. Like it's a staple.
Thank you.
It's a staple. Like it's one of them things where I feel like not even just because I don't want to limit it to Los Angeles, but I know every rapper I know from Los Angeles, it's like something that you really like just plan and plot on forever. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like before Simba did the freestyle, he was talking to me about coming up with shit for a while. You know what I'm saying?
Dope.
Like
we appreciate that.
Yeah, we really
man.
do, man. We really do. It's great to see how far it's come. Like you said, you know, in the rap, like from you know, banging on lockers, hopping out of cars, watching that, you know, on Instagram and, you know, seeing the movement grow, and now to be sitting here with Jayson Cash today. We want to go behind the bars, man, and break down some of the bars from the freestyle.
Okay.
Let's start it off with the beat selection.
Okay.
You got Money Ain't a Thing.
Yeah.
And then Snoop, Still a G Thing. What made you pick those beats, man?
Because I started with Money Ain't a Thing just because I felt like I didn't want to jump out the gate with some LA shit. You know what I mean? Only because that's kind of like almost what's expected. Mm-hmm. Most of the time when I freestyle jumping out the whip or anything like that, I always pick beats from where we from. So I wanted to do some other shit. And I'm like, okay, well, all right, let me study. I'm watching LA Leaguer freestyles for like a week, just seeing all the beats that people are doing. I didn't hear anybody do this beat.
Nope.
And I'm like, and I'm like, this is a classic, you know, this is a classic beat to just rap on or some shit like that. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do that. But then, you know what I'm saying? As far as the Snoop, Still a G thing, you know, we've been having these conversations about top fives, right? Mm-hmm. And I feel like you could argue that Snoop Dogg is the best rapper of all time. Man. You know what I mean? You could argue that Jay-Z is. Argument. You know what I'm saying?
People
like,
got to put Snoop in that conversation.
So if I'm like, okay, if I'm going to go here first, let me go to Snoop too.
Bring it to the West Coast.
Fire.
Right. But I'm like, all right, which Snoop do I do?
That's tough.
Yeah, I know. What era?
Yeah, I'm like, damn, which Snoop do we go to? I'm like, I got to go to this some cool shit.
Yeah.
I'm going to do some cool shit. And I'm like, I haven't heard nobody rap on that one either.
Yep.
You know? Ray Vaughn just went crazy on, was it Lay Low, I want to say?
Yeah, Lay Low.
Yeah. Like, I've rapped on that beat like 1,000 times myself. Yeah. I'm like, I've never rapped on this Snoop beat. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, okay, let me give that for Dog one time, too.
Yeah, no, glad you picked that one. That's a very slept on record, I feel like. As big as it was. I know it was a big record, but still, it's just like.
It is one of the slept ones in the catalog, though.
Yeah, man,
right.
Exactly.
And that's Snoop after leaving out here.
Exactly.
Right.
That's
No Limit Snoop.
Right. Yep. And that's my mindset. Like, you know, like with the music, you want to make sure you represent where you from. I want to feel like home, sound like home. I want you to know, like, I'm from Carson.
Yeah.
This LA County. Like, I'm from the city. Right. But I'm not regional. We going past, you know, I'm going to get past Nevada. I'm going to get past that shit. Like, that's the mindset. So let me use a Snoop beat that's him literally outside of California.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So,
you just posted on your Instagram when you released the last song, playing the record for
playing Snoop. It for Snoop.
Did you speak to him about that and just making, the concept of making, I don't want to say bigger, but just larger records than just for the city?
Yeah, we talked about more so like even just kicking in the door about where I'm from and going hard about, it was like when I came out, it was, I was Long Beach on everything, but it wasn't just about me. It was about, everybody. It was like I had Trey D, it was Nate Dogg, it was this person, it was that person, it was, like Snoop is, if you look back, just Snoop career, he cracked the door for so many,
a lot of people.
Because he said for him it wasn't about being the dopest. If this motherfucker gonna rap better than me on this shit, cool. All right, cool. He was like, man, I'm gonna have my shit and I'm gonna come back with this shit. And that kind of like changed the way that I approach making music. I feel like if I come do a freestyle with you guys or somewhere else, that's gonna be the biggest display of just showcasing your bars. But then the songs, it changed my approach to actually just being about making songs.
Mm-hmm. You got a favorite line off this freestyle that you just kicked for us? Is there a favorite bar? Is there, you know what I'm saying? Section, favorite.
I would say like even the opening line. It's like, if I could have this feeling forever, I swear I would. And if heaven had a phone, I hit Bishop and say I'm good, and tell him pass the phone to my granny, because when she died, that shit had hurt me so badly. It's like, first off, that's just real. But it's crazy to say that because this feeling that I'm having of having music out and moving, like my grandparents aren't here.
Yeah.
So if I gave up this feeling, to enjoy this feeling, I have to acknowledge the fact that they're not here.
Yeah.
So even in that line, like when I originally was working on it, in my mind when I said, I tell Bishop that I'm good, it's like in my mind I'm like, he know that already. Like he see it.
Yeah.
And I'm still giving honor to, to my grandparents in the process. So that's probably the most meaningful line to me in there. But my favorite is
Come on.
My favorite part is, I've been broke so long, I don't know how to stunt. Had to play the back so long, I don't know how to front.
Ooh.
And now we having meetings with a waterfront. Went from Carlo Rossi to 42 shots to get me drunk. It's like the growth.
Yeah.
And just the truth, like, you know what I mean? Like, I've been the fly on the wall for a long time. You know what I mean? I played the background. And in that time, you figure out how you want to go about it once the light on you. When the camera pans.
Yeah. And that's real shit. Because like you said, I mean, we met you a few years ago.
Right,
man.
right.
And it took a while.
Right. And I started taking meetings right after I met you guys. And it was like, God's plan and timing. Things happen how they supposed to, when they supposed to.
Yeah.
Simba, shout out to Simba. He said something to me. He said, as much as you got to know when it's your time, you got to know when it's not.
Yeah.
And,
that's a real bar.
I be mindful of that, but how I feel is it's my motherfucking time right now. So
yes,
I'm going to show up and show out. You know what I'm saying? So
I definitely like
I appreciate the opportunity to even, get my shit off because,
come on, man.
Like time is of the essence right now. We hungry. We trying to eat,
100%. 100%. I like how you claimed your spot, man. Like, that's what we want from all MCs who come up here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you got to feel like you in the top 5 conversation. Yeah. And I think in the second verse, you had a line where you were like, come on, is it Kendrick?
It's Kendrick, Jake. Oh, yeah, we got to throw that in there, you know?
And then what's up? You know what I mean?
You know?
And I like that. I like how you like, you know what I'm saying? I'm here. Talk to us about, the choice to mention those 2 names and just the space you're in right now, thinking about, being in the lights of the top 5s.
Because for one, like, Kendrick is my GOAT. Like, if there was no Jay-Z, I would say Kendrick is the greatest rapper of all time. So I've mirrored and watched his just movement from the Kendrick Lamar EP till now. Like, I went to school with Top Dog daughter. Like, I was at 7-Eleven like late night one night, and Top gave me like a Black Friday J-Rock mixtape. So at the time, like, J-Rock was on the van, not Kendrick.
Yeah.
But I watched them. You know what I mean? Just when they passed, when Snoop and them gave him the key to the West Coast, passed the torch to him, I was standing on the stage. Like, I seen it.
That video was
I
so
seen
crazy.
with my own eyes Kendrick crying backstage. Like, I seen it.
Wow.
I pulled up with my homeboys. Trey is in here right now. We all went there together. They was in the crowd. I was backstage. Shout out to Dave Free for bringing me back there. But I seen that shit with my own eyes.
Big
you know what I mean? And that always showed me it was possible. So I feel like I always just mirrored, like, okay, so he did the EP and the OD, Section 80. Like, I just watched it. Like, bro, and then saying J. Cole, The crazy thing is, so I mentioned my grandmother dying. She died in October of 2012. Before her, this was like days after she passed, Good Kid, Mad City came out.
Shit.
I went to Best Buy. My boy Will, he was a barber from TDE, and he got me in there. I was standing back there. I watched J. Cole come in there to the Best Buy and buy Kendrick CD.
Yeah,
like
I remember when
I'm
that
seeing
happened.
all this shit with my own eyes.
I remember when
you know what I'm saying? Like I
happened.
was there. I was there for this shit. I watched all this shit. So it's like I've been watching these dudes just really just go crazy for the last 10 years. You know what I'm saying? So when I'm talking about the career that I want to have, not even when I say that line, I'm not just talking about rap skill. I'm like, that's the type of career I want to have. That's the trajectory like I'm shooting for. You know what I'm saying? Because all this shit is subjective. Like, you might think this rapper is better than this one or this is that, but like, you can't. They careers ain't subjective. Like, you know what I'm saying?
100%.
So
Proof is in the pudding.
right. So when I say Kendrick and J. Cole, those two are the most successful rappers I've seen in the last 10 years.
For sure. And I feel like you got to have that mentality too, being, you know, in this sport of rap, man, because if you don't, it's like, what the fuck are you even doing it for, bro?
Yeah, get out the fucking way.
Yeah.
For real shit. Like, you got to know what you want.
Yeah.
And that's what I want.
All I know, no pun
All I know is
intended.
out right now. Priority featuring Blast is out right now. Been in My Bag featuring Major Major and One Take J is out right now. And I like to say that's 3 songs, and I like to say we went 3 for 3. And there's more to come. The project is sounding crazy. You know what I'm saying? You pulled up and you heard some shit.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? It's some stuff, man. It's some stuff. We got it's the LA Leaker, so I'll leak one. I got a feature on this project that I'm so happy to have. So happy to have.
Okay.
And it's Dom Kennedy. I'ma just say that.
Wow.
It's the
Brother
LA
right
Lakers,
there,
so
man.
I'ma say it on the
Come on,
Lakers,
we
man.
got
I got a
our
record with
brother
Dom
right
Kennedy
there.
that's just
Woo!
yeah.
That's
Can't wait to
exciting.
hear that shit.
Yeah.
We can't wait to hear that joint.
Yeah. And that's dope because the Dom and Nip shit.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
You know?
Full
Yep.
circle
Yeah,
again.
we
Full
know.
circle. So
You already know.
It's beautiful, man. Thank you, Jayson Cash.
Yes,
LA
appreciate y'all.
Leakers. That's behind the bars
Uh-huh.
for Freestyle 120 on Power 106, LA's #1 for hip hop.